All right, so I'm a bit late again with these. Still trying to get my sleep schedule in order here. I think I have it ready for the 4 a.m. Eastern start of the new season, though. But there was the Invisible Woman reveal, and as a strategist main, I'm pretty excited for it. I saw some of the extra stuff, which we're going to look at. Again, I've been trying to avoid like leaks and stuff, but this is a little bit more official because it was through some streamers that were given early access. So yeah, we're going to watch the reveal with the Mr. Fantastic. They hadn't done the streamer thing yet. So I kind of just speculated on what his abilities were doing. Now we have their ability screens as well. So we'll look at that with Invisible Woman and kind of go from there. So this, we'll just watch the video and then we'll look at the abilities afterwards.
Who wants to see something fantastic? Next. Force burst. They'll never see me coming. Clear the way! You have no clue how long I've wanted to do that, Namor. Disappear! A clear winner.
So again, as a strategist main, I'm definitely looking forward to her. We got a bit more of a clear picture of what she does now because we have the actual ability sheet. This was on Emiru's stream. I think that's how you say her name. I don't really know her, but yeah, this was from her stream. It's going to be a little bit hard to read some of this just because her chat's over top of it, but we'll manage through it. So her left click, her just basic attack, launch a force field that can pierce heroes. So that's kind of cool. In the Mr. Fantastic trailer, I was so focused on him, or reveal, whatever. I was so focused on him, I didn't actually notice it, but there is a little part where you can see the piercing of the projectile. So it basically goes out and then actually returns too. So I assume it can hit multiple allies as well as multiple enemies, and both at the same time. So that's kind of cool. Should be a nice just basic attack. So it's kind of like Luna, where her left click is just her attack and her heal. It's going to be the same here, but again, it's going to penetrate. So yeah, it goes out to a certain distance, which it looks like a decent distance from what I saw, and then returns. So one thing I'm not sure about though is if you can only have one projectile out at a time. Actually, I should have kept that video open. Let me go back to that real quick just to see. I didn't look at her like ammo capacity and stuff, but I'm curious if you can have more than one attack out at a time. You know, I have a feeling you can't, which could be not as great. Oh no, it does look like there's it's hard to see the projectiles. There's not as much focus on it right now, but so yeah, I guess there you could kind of see multiples. You saw one coming back as the other was going out, so that's good. So you can have multiple going at once. I was a little worried maybe it was like a single projectile and you had to wait for it to come back. That would be kind of terrible, but it looks like that is not the case. We'll just go in order here. So we were looking at this with the Mr. Fantastic reveal. There's this symbol, and we kind of figured that was going to be their team up. So the Invisible Woman taps into her powers, channeling a psionic might to fortify the entire Fantastic Four team. Okay, so I assume once Thing and Human Torch get added, they're going to be part of this as well. So yeah, this formidable force bolsters Mr. Fantastic, granting damage resistance. Once activated, they can continually generate bonus health, making up for lost health with each passing moment. Now, they say the entire Fantastic Four team here, and then they specifically talk about Mr. Fantastic. I'm curious if each one is going to have their own different version of this, you know? I don't know why else they would specify Mr. Fantastic in that part after mentioning the whole team. I don't know. We'll have to see once they get released, but either way, helps Mr. Fantastic out a bit. Obviously doesn't do anything for her. She's just the catalyst for it, but yeah, helps the rest of the Fantastic Four. Invisible boundary. So this one, I thought it might stop projectiles, because if even in the start of the trailer, just the vibe it gave off in terms of her abilities, right? Like stopping bullets and stuff like that. It looks like that's not the case. What it's going to do is manifest an unseen force field within a chosen area, rendering allies inside undetectable by enemies and providing healing over time. Enemies that pass through the field are slowed. So we saw that in the trailer. She threw up the big invisibility dome. So it's a pretty decent area. So the enemies can't see you. They can still shoot into it. So Iron Man could potentially ult into there and still get a lot of people, even though it'll be a little bit harder to aim since they could be anywhere in there, right? But yeah, her teammates inside are going to get a heal over time. I'm curious how strong it's going to be compared to like Mantis and Luna, for example. But I mean, the invisibility could be good. It makes it harder for just basic attacks to get to register on your team, right? Because you're going to just be firing blindly into the shield, and your team's going to be healing over time. And then, yeah, enemies that push in, they're going to get slowed. Now, one thing I'm not sure about, and I don't know if we see it all in here, is whether once the enemy enters, if they can see inside or if they're basically blind inside as well. I don't think we ever see from the enemy's perspective outside of Iron Man. We don't see from Cap or Thor while they're inside. So that much I'm not sure about. But yeah, I mean, even if it is the fact that they would have to go in to be able to see you, they're going to get slowed, and then they're not going to get as much support from outside, like their healers and stuff. They'd all have to go in. And then obviously we don't know how long this is going to last necessarily. Actually, I guess we could, I think it, does it end here? Let's see. I don't know if this is all like synced up between perspectives here. No, we didn't see it go down. So, well, let's see if we have at least some idea. So where are we at here? 39. So it's going to be at least 10 seconds. It's going to last at least 10 seconds, which is still shorter than Luna's ult. But yeah, interesting. So her shift, her Psionic vortex, gather Psionic energy and then cast it upon hitting a target scene, which is like just the terrain and stuff, I would assume. Or pressing the shift key again, it erupts into a Psionic vortex, continuously drawing in enemies and causing damage. So we saw that, I think, when she was fighting Thor.
Next.
Yeah, so whether that hits a the ground, the wall, whatever, or an enemy, or once she presses her shift again, it's going to pop this bubble, and it's going to do damage as well as pulling them in. I don't know how strong the pull is going to be, But for me, as a strategist main that gets dove a lot, I think this will be a nice way to help with that, right? Your Black Panthers, your Spider-Mans. It seems like a pretty decent sized dome. So I'm hoping that'll pull in like the Spider-Man and the Black Panthers and stuff, and give you some opportunity to either damage them or let your teammates damage them or whatever. But basically, I would be using it similar to the Ice with Luna or the Sleep with Mantis. Some kind of useful thing for getting divers off you, but you could also use it in combination with like a Moon Knight or something like that, right? Something to group the enemies together. You throw that into a big group, their backline or whatever. I'm not sure, how does it throw? Is it just a straight line? Yeah, it seems to be just a straight line. So normally, like with Mantis, I'll lob my sleeps in. This looks like you'd have to maybe jump to get an angle to get it in the back lines or whatever. But either way, it could be some pretty cool utility with that. And again, especially for dealing with divers, you just look down, throw it at your feet, and get out of it. And hopefully the divers get stuck in it, and you can kind of either deal it with it yourself or have your teammates help. So pretty interesting there. Okay, now this one's interesting. Force physics. Manipulate psionic energy to push or pull enemies in front of you. So I don't know if we'll see it. Like, we do see the push right here on Cap. There we go. That's what I was wondering. When I first saw this, I was wondering how you decide whether you're pushing or pulling, since it's only on one button. But it looks like you press it and then either left click or right click. So left click sends them outward, right click pulls them to you. So lots of utility with her. So we have a few pull characters, right? We have, who do we have? We have Spider-Man. Spider-Man can pull. Winter Soldier can pull. Now she can pull. So she can actually kind of pull like a tank out around a corner or something like that. I don't know how. We only see the push here, I believe. So I don't know how strong either the push or pull is. But again, kind of a nice other utility for both defense and offense, which I really like. Agile Strike. Release a 3-hit combo. The third attack will launch enemies in front. Now, I don't know if we see it at all here. Let's start back here. Maybe she uses it on Thor or something. I don't think we ever see her use it. I don't think anybody ever gets close enough to her. Maybe the Thor. Oh, we do see something I was interested in. Hold on. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but I'm curious. Oh, she did use her shift there to push him back, but it was just so quick we never saw the prompts for the push or pull. Okay. So again, I'm not sure if we see this melee or whatever. I don't think we do. I don't think anybody ever gets close enough to her. No, I don't think we ever see it. But either way, it's kind of nice. I don't know. I assume this is going to be straight up. I don't know if there's going to be any knockback to it or anything, but I don't know how useful it is, but it's something. I would prefer it to have knockback rather than launch up, but could be good. Like you pull them in with your E and then you knock them up to let your teammates combo them or whatever. Could be interesting. Now, this is something I was curious about. So Veiled Step. Generate a force field at your feet. Stepping on it propels you into invisible state. So I wasn't sure what propelled necessarily meant, whether it was up, forward, or whatever. The little icon does look like it's kind of a jump. One thing, I mostly play Mantis, and one thing with Mantis is I really don't like her lack of mobility. There's certain spots where, like if you're playing Luna, when you have your speed boost from your ice skate, you can actually jump a bit higher. Mantis can't do it, and it always felt a little weird to me that this kind of bug type character can't really jump very high. So that is one thing I definitely miss from Mantis, and it looks like it is an actual jump. We see her use it against Thor here, I believe. She actually jumps backwards, which is nice. I love that. I love that it's like backwards mobility as well. I assume it's whatever direction you're going. Given that there is the ability to go backwards, I assume there's the ability to go forwards, and then from there, I would assume you can go any direction. Psylocke, for example, has her dash, and I've always wished that dash was directional rather than always straightforward, right? So it's nice that this is likely a dash in whatever direction you're facing. And because it does give you that height, you can get up to other places, which is really nice. And then obviously it makes you invisible too. I assume your invisibility breaks if you attack at all, which she does instantly here, so it breaks, but could be nice for escape. Lots of really nice stuff in her kit that I'm really looking forward to. Her right click, Guardian Shield. Generate a force shield in front of a selected ally. The shield can block damage and provide healing over time to nearby allies. Enemies that pass through the shield are slowed. I think we see it in the Namor fight.
You have no clue how long I've wanted to do that.
Unless that's the passive.
You have no clue. You have no clue how long I've wanted to do that, Namor.
Yeah, I assume, yeah, that was her right click. Okay.
You have no clue how.
So interesting. It doesn't like stick to them. It just makes like a ground shield where they're facing at the time. And then looks like it puts a heal over time on them. Doesn't look like the heal over time lasts very long though.
You have no clue how long I've wanted to do that, Namor.
Either way, I mean, I'm used to Mantis right clicking to heal, so having another heal on my right click, lots of heals, is really nice. Your alt heals, your right click heals, your left click heals. So I'm a big fan of that. It's like a purely support type character, with some utility thrown in, which is really nice. Now this one, I don't know how often this is really going to come into play. The covert advance. Enter invisible state sometime after disengaging from combat and grant yourself healing over time. So in terms of disengaging from combat, I would assume that means you have to stop. Well, you can't be taking damage, but you also can't be doing anything else. So I assume if you're trying to heal or whatever, that's considered combat. But I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if combat is like you'd have to actually hit an enemy with this or what. That's something I'm gonna have to see. But yeah, like if this is just like you can't do anything, I don't know how useful this is gonna be. Like maybe your whole team dies and you manage to kind of get out of line of sight, go invisible, and then you can just kind of hide somewhere. That might be okay, just for a way to, you know, when just so you don't get staggered, right? Some kind of way to help you go invisible and avoid being staggered so you can regroup with your team. Could be useful. I don't think it's going to be extremely useful necessarily, but we'll have to wait and see until I can get my hands on it. But yeah, I really like her kit. I'm probably going to one trick her at the start of the season and just go all in and try and learn her and see how she is. But yeah, I really like the look of her kit so far. I do kind of wish the alt blocked projectiles too, but I think at that point it might be a little bit too strong. But yeah, seems like a really cool kit. I'm excited for it. We got what, 2 days? Less than 2 days. Yeah, like a day and a half or something like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be playing her right out of the gate. Well, I'm going to probably be fighting people for it, but let's be honest, everybody's an insta-lock DPS anyway. Who wants to play her? Oh, I know. These people. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.